Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about second fundamental theorem of integral calculus in a real analysis. So let's start to understand what a second fundamental theorem says that. If I am giving you just overview of the first fundamental theorem, so first fundamental theorem says that if a function is continuous at any points you can consider c, then derivative of this function is equals to the value of the function. So f dash c is equals to f of c. So with this pertaining, we are going to discuss about second fundamental theorem. Let's start second fundamental theorem with proof. Okay, so I am giving you a statement. What says that statement? Let's start to the understand. I am written over a statement of this function and with proof. Okay, so statement of this function integral calculus theorem says that a function is said to be fn is said to be continuous. A function is said to be bounded and integrable on closed interval a comma b. This is a comma b if there exists a function f such that f dash is equal to f. Okay, then such that f dash is equal to f on closed interval ab, then integral of this function a to b over f of dx is equal to fp minus fa. Okay, let's understand what says the theorem. Theorem says that if a function is said to be bounded and integrable on closed interval ab, you can, if you take any particular integral closed over a to b, I am taking here, then there exists a function f. If you take a particular integral and function is bounded and integrable, bounded means you know that function exists supremum and infimum also, then function is said to be bounded, and which is when it is integrable, then it is a Riemann theory applicable over here. Okay, so what says that if there exists a function f है and such that f dash is equals to f, that means that value की derivative of this value function is equal to f. Okay, the derivative of this function is equals to f, then f dash is equal to f on closed interval a to b, then integral of this function is equal to this. So this function, if you take this function, is where it comes from, it's always when you apply Lagrange's mean value theorem, then it's usually use this type of function. So pertaining to this we are using over here, but before we are starting the proof of this theorem, in between this theorem we are discussing Lagrange's mean value theorem. So let's start the proof of this theorem. What says that here, you know that a function is bounded and integrable, you know, then f dash is equals to f, and f is bounded also integrable. So bounded and integrable, therefore for any epsilon, you can choose any epsilon greater than 0, there exists a positive integer such that you can take a delta just greater than 0, take any number. So I am taking a delta over here, such that for any particular partition you can take partition. It is comes from Riemann theory. Okay, you can take any partition like in general x0, x1, x2 up to xn, and over integral is a to b, so you can take first number a and the last one is b. Okay, with norm also. So norm p, and it is less than, of course, delta. We are read about this from Riemann integration theory, so this is applicable over here. Summation I is equals to 1 to n f of ti into delta xi minus integral a to b f dx, where the term of ti is come from xi minus 1 and xi. It is belong to between these terms. Okay, so that is called integration over a to b integration over a to b f dx is equal to the limiting value of n tends to infinity and the summation value running from I is equals to 1 to n f of ti into delta xi. This is coming from this function, and so you can take since इंटरवल ti जो है बिलोंग कर रहा है xi माइनस 1 से xi के बीच में, is free to choose any particular वैल्यू के लिए आप चूज कर सकते हैं इसको. आई एम लिखिंग राइट डाउन हियर पार्टिकुलर वे by Lagrange's mean value theorem, of course. By Lagrange's mean value theorem, what says that Lagrange's mean value theorem? Lagrange's mean value theorem that is that f of x minus f of xi minus 1 is equals to f dash ti into delta xi. Okay, and I is coming from 1 to up to n, and ti is of course coming from xi minus 1 to xi. Under this function is coming from ti. Okay, when you take a difference between them xi minus 1, I am just taking if I am taking just a graph of this, so how it will be made, let's see. When you take this type of graph and you make xi minus 1, and when you take this graph which is xi, then you can see that this xi is greater than this term. So this is the xi minus 1 and this is xi. Okay, let's move again. F of xi, I am saying that f of xi minus f of xi minus 1 is equals to f dash ti, which is coming from ti, xi minus 1 and xi in between. So here f dash ti is equal to integration over f of ti into, you can take delta xi. Okay, and because just because given, because f dash is equals to f, so from here you can take this apply. So hence you can say sigma of a is equals to 1 to n f of ti into delta xi into sigma is equals to 1 to n f of xi minus f of xi minus 1. You have to take it xi minus 1 over here, because just that you apply the Lagrange's mean value theorem, and under this theorem you apply with this theorem, and when you take a summation of both of these function, it will be becomes a f of b minus f of a. Let's understand how it will becomes. So when you take a summation of both of these functions, after that you have to put a value of these running from I is equals to 1 to n, and when you put of these function value, then it will becomes f of x1 minus f of x naught. It will take under 1 and again plus f of x2 minus f of x1, and so on. It goes on and up to last term f of xi minus 1 and f of xi, or you can say xn minus xn, xn minus 1 and xn. Okay, because we are taking I is equals to running from 1 to n, so last term is n, of course. So what gives it? It gives that when you see that every terms x1 is x1 is calculated with the x1, and it will cancel out x1 and x1. So what the remaining term of this? F of x naught and f of xn. Okay, so f of x naught is value of a and f of xn value of b. So you can take f of x naught minus f of xn. So value of x naught is f of, but firstly you have to written out this value, because when you write down on this function, then it is will be taken first time. So xn minus x naught. So this will becomes f of b minus f of a, which is we have to prove that. So you can take that summation over I is equals to 1 to n f of ti into delta xi is equal to f of b minus f of a, and this is our theorem. So we are proving here this theorem, and I really hope that you will like my theorems proof. So please subscribe my channel and like and share. Please don't forget that. Thanks for watching.